Okay, it's recording. I'm actually a bit scared from this video, but whatever. Okay. I thought I'd do another recovery video, and this is going to be a recovery Q&A video. Because I get a lot of questions on Ask.fm and just my Instagram about recovery related things, and I was like, hey, why not just combine loads of those questions and make a Q&A video about it. So I just wanted to say that I had to translate some of these questions from Dutch to English. Can you not? So I hope I translated them kind of okay. If not, I'm sorry. And other things I want to say, I guess, I hope you get something out of this video and that I answered your question, and let's just get started. My biggest motivation to recover. When I began recovery, I was so done with my eating disorder. I hate saying my eating disorder, with the eating disorder. I was just so fed up with it. I was done. I was like, I just want to get my life back. I don't care what I have to do. So that was like a really big motivation. And also, my breathing is really bad. Okay, we hang out with my friends group like quite often, and of course there's going to be loads of food there and drinks and stuff. And I was always scared to death to hang out with my friends because I always thought that they would think I was fat or whatever. So it was a really hard thing for me to do, and I wanted to be able to enjoy hanging out with my friends. So that was also a really big motivation for me. My thoughts on Minimout. So I definitely do agree with some of the parts, some of the rules of Minimout, such as like a thing that you're supposed to eat like a minimum of 2,500 calories a day, and you're not allowed to do any sort of exercise. I definitely do agree with that, because it's just that's what I did, and it worked great. But I do not agree with the rule that you're not allowed to weigh yourself, because I think that when you do that, you don't learning to accept your new weight. And what really helped me was seeing my weight on the scale and then seeing in the mirror that I was not fat, that the weight on the scale didn't mean that I was fat. So I think that that's really important, and also just seeing that even though you feel like you may be gaining a lot, and then seeing on scale that you're really not, I think is really important. So when you don't weigh yourself, or just don't get weight at all, then you don't get to experience that. And I think that's not really a good... I'm having trouble breathing. Okay, I just think that you should weigh yourself, at least get a weight to make sure that you're gaining enough weight, and you're just learning to accept your new weight. What made you realize that recovery was worth it? Every time I ever met with any of my friends. Like I said, I hang out with my friends like quite often now. But during the roughest part of my recovery and my eating disorder itself, I barely hung out with them because I just was really scared to eat food there or whatever. And then noticing that I was with my friends eating, having some drinks and whatever, and I was having fun and not caring about what I was going to do to my body is so relieving, and just it makes me really happy and appreciate the fact that I chose to recover. Next question is what to do after you've just eaten a fair food and you actually didn't like it as much as before, so now you feel guilty. Okay, this is quite a hard question for me to answer, because that's never really happened to me, but I tried my best to come up with an answer. I think that you should just acknowledge the fact that eating something you maybe didn't like as much doesn't mean you wasted calories or whatever. It's just, you know that now, and you know that I don't like it as much as I did before, and that's okay. Be proud of yourself that you did eat the fair food, and that that's a great thing. That you should be proud of yourself. And even if you maybe didn't enjoy it as much, it doesn't mean that it was a bad choice. It was a great choice. How did you cope with being nearly brackets weight restored, and how do you stay motivated to gain more weight? How did you stay motivated to gain more weight? Being nearly weight restored was really hard for me because I was at my all-time highest weight. I'd never weighed that much, so that was a bit tough for me. And my brain had convinced me that being at a healthy weight meant that I was completely healthy, completely recovered, that I didn't need any more help, which wasn't true. My mental health was still like, it was better than before, but it still wasn't completely healthy, like good and nice. No. So I talked a lot about that with my parents and my psychologist, and then we came to the conclusion that I did need some more therapy and some more just conversations with my psychologist. So we continued the appointments, meetings with my psychologist, and that just made me that really helped with like getting my mind in the right mindset and just really actually recovering, because being at healthy weight does not mean that you are recovered. It's a part of recovery, but it's not the entire recovery process. And how did I stay motivated to gain more weight? So, like I said in the beginning, I was willing to do about anything to recover from the eating disorder. I was so fed up with it, and that meant that I was willing to gain a few more kilos if that was needed to, if I was supposed to. So even though I maybe didn't want to because I felt like this is an okay weight for me, I knew that if they said that I had to, they know what is a good thing for my body. I don't. I'm not a doctor. So I just listened to them and it worked out, I guess. I look fine right now, so. And I've always been a big people pleaser, so if anyone tells me to do anything, I'll do it. If my dietitian told me to eat this or that amount of food, I would. If my dietitian told me to gain some more weight, I would. I keep getting on 1200 calories a day. Everyone tells me to just follow my meal plan and that I'll maintain in a bit, but I even keep gaining on quite small amounts of food. Why is this? Am I not supposed to be able to eat a normal amount of food without gaining a lot after 3 weeks? Everybody's different. Some people only start gaining after increasing to 2500 calories a day. Some people already gain at 1500 calories a day. Everybody is different. Please try to relax and don't think too much about calories. I know I'm saying like, oh, eat 2500 calories, blah, 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 blah. Don't focus so much on calories. I know that what I'm gonna say right now sounds really stereotypical, but follow your meal plan. Bodies are weird. They work a bit weird, I don't know. Especially after fucking them up by starving yourself, like purging or whatever, or just an eating disorder fucks them up. So when you start eating more, your body is confused. So then it just does these weird things and you start gaining on small amounts of weight because your body doesn't know what to do with the food, and it's weird. Please follow your meal plan and your body will adjust itself to the amounts of food that it's going to get. Next question is, if your eating disorder was a person for a few moments, what would you tell them? I'd probably say something along the lines of, look at me now, fucker. And then I'd like probably kick them in the face or break their legs or something, because who would have thought that I would recover? Right. What do you consider real recovery? Are you in it? I do think that I was in it, honestly, because I consider real recovery to be you eating what your doctor or dietitian tells you to eat and gaining sufficient amounts of weight. When you are supposed to gain half a kilo a week, gain half a kilo a week. Don't slack, don't just not eat things when you're supposed to, because that is only helping your eating disorder. And if you're saying, oh, yeah, I wasn't really hungry for it, or my parents weren't around, so I could easily skip it. Don't fucking skip it. Don't listen to your eating disorder. Eat what you're supposed to eat, except when you're like actually dying from like being too full, because I get that you really don't want to eat when you know that either you will harm yourself after that, or like you're just physically stuffed up until here. Like, I get that then you don't want to eat anymore, but if those are literally the only exceptions, just eat what you're supposed to eat and gain what you're supposed to gain. Last question is, how did you find the recovery community on Instagram? Like, how did you find it? I'm not 100% sure how I found it on Instagram, but I think like when I started my recovery, I was just like, hey, let's just like look on Instagram, because about everything is on Instagram. You can just type in some random word and there are people who post something about it. So I just typed in like anorexia recovery or something like that, and all these Instagram accounts came up with, oh, anorexia recovery, blah 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 blah, and I was like, hey, let me follow. And then I did, and I became really inspired by their accounts and their posts, and I was like, let me create one myself, and that was the birth of Sannah against Anna. That sounds so weird. I'll write it down. It seems like, oh, that's a nice word thing, and when I say it out loud, I'm like, that doesn't rhyme at all. Okay, I hope this made somewhat sense. Like I said, I'm filming this quite late at night. I'm tired, so I'm always tired in my videos. I'm sorry. This is the only time of the day I have actually time to film. So I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is like somewhere down below the button. And I hope you're okay and good, and remember that I love you. Bye!